And joining me on the show is Josh Bernstein. Josh, welcome back to Compass.
Great to be back on the program with you.
Thank you. I appreciate your time today. And I wanted to get your take on this Ray Epps case. It just seems like we're all being taken for fools here. How is it that after 2.5 years and sentences, some 17 years for some people, 22 years for others, people who weren't even there on the day, Ray Epps has been seen in countless videos now as an instigator. And he's been called out by Tucker Carlson, and people are making the case, was he an FBI agent, an agent provocateur? And it seems like we're being taken for fools. Josh, what is your take on this single misdemeanor charge?
Well, first and foremost, I would say that this has the makings of another Hunter Biden sweetheart deal that perhaps maybe will actually fall apart as Hunter Biden's deal fell apart. This is cover for the FBI, let's face it. Clearly, this is an FBI undercover agent. We just heard from Stephen Sund, who was the head of the Capitol Police, and they actually, in the testimony, not only did Nancy Pelosi lie, but he said that he actually had reached out to her 3 times. She said not even once. He has the goods. He has the receipts. He has the proof through the phone calls and all that. He testified to our U.S. Congress about that. But more importantly, they don't even know how many agents were in the crowd. They actually testified to that respect. They don't even know how many. At least 24 to 36. By my count and the people that I've talked to, there could have been north of 50 agents. And yes, Ray Epps was certainly one of them. One of the patriot groups in Arizona, where I reside, actually went out to Queen Creek, Arizona, which is where Ray Epps had his home and a farm out there, and confronted him. Literally confronted him on his property in his golf cart, and he ran away like the weasel that he is. Then, of course, he took off with his wife and his dog and went to Colorado to get out of the area, and has basically been living for the most part on the road in Colorado and in other areas of the United States. And so this whole thing of now charging him is really just cover for the FBI. They know they've been caught. We've called it a Fedsurrection from the very beginning. Anyone can see that that was indeed the case. I've said it before. November 3rd was the Fedsurrection. January 6th was the cover-up of that Fedsurrection. And one other thing that I will say is that if this was a, quote, insurrection, as the American Mockingbird media has presumably called it from the very beginning, why is it that not one innocent, patriotic January 6th prisoner been charged with insurrection, which is U.S. Code 182383, I believe. Yes, 2383. None of them have been charged with that because they cannot meet the merits of that charge. So they got them for violent entry. They got them for trespassing. They got them for so many other things that, of course, they didn't do. It's really a shame. It's ridiculous when some people, the disparity, are getting 18 to 22 years because they've been infiltrated by the FBI, the Proud Boys, the 3%ers, some of those groups. And here we have an undercover FBI agent getting a slap on the wrist, and quite frankly, likely will never see the inside of a jail cell.
Josh, everything that you said makes perfect sense, and people will come to realize that this is the historic, accurate truth of what went on. What I don't get is, in the United States, the home of Hollywood and theatre and film, etc., there isn't a time that you cannot turn on Netflix or one of these things and there won't be not one but multiple series about the corruption that goes on in stories, series, movies, whatever. The FBI, the CIA. We're only watching one at home this week, Lioness, and it's all about the CIA operating on American soil and how they dance through the hoops to always get away with it. We see it in the movies. We believe what we see, and it seems that art imitates life here. Why is it that we can't make that leap in reality and go, you know what, we've all been taken for fools here, enough is enough? Just seems that something has to give.
Well, look, I mean, the documents that have finally been released after so many years literally show proof that, JFK was indeed assassinated with the help of the Central Intelligence Agency. That's not hearsay. That's not opinion. That's absolute fact. The documents show it that have been released, and there's still 2,000 or 3,000 more documents that they still have not released. And so who knows what else is in there. But we do know that the American CIA is responsible for regime changes in other countries. We know that they have assassinated world leaders. I think it's possible that they had something to do with the assassination of the former Haitian leader a year or so ago. They've done lots of different things. And of course, you can couple that with the intel community as a whole, the NSA program, the PRISM program that spied on our allies, Australia, Germany, France, many others. So again, I think it's a rogue regime, to be quite honest, and it needs to be reined in. One of the things that got Kennedy killed was he said that he wanted to disband and smash, I think his words were, smash the CIA and the intel community into 1,000 little pieces. And of course, we saw what happened to him afterwards. But the reality is that our intel community in the United States is dangerous. It is clearly dangerous. And I think it's about time some of our allies start to not only take notice of it, but maybe put even some international pressure on our intel community.
And what did you make of Bobby Kennedy last week with that person sneaking into the campaign and being arrested?
Yeah, look, the guy snuck in, said that he was part of their security detail. He clearly was not. He was armed. He had a gun. Granted, he didn't brandish a weapon. He didn't pull it out, but he was there and he wanted to say, and that's what they were talking about, can you get me as close to him as possible? So who knows? Who knows what could have happened? I mean, we saw what happened to his father. We saw what happened to his uncle. Maybe it would have been the same. And remember, he is the only presidential candidate in U.S. history to not receive Secret Service protection. He has asked twice now, the second one with a 67-page document going through all of the details of the threats that he may face and some of the, the issues that he may face, doing what he's doing, which is running for president, at least right now as a Democrat, but more than likely he's going to switch as an independent, which I hope he does, because that will certainly help President Trump in 2024. But it's really sad to think that this is how they're treating a Kennedy, which was the mainstay of the Democratic Party for many years. I mean, the pivotal type of person that they looked upon was the Kennedys, right? They put them up on a pedestal. That's what the party's supposed to be. And now they won't even give Secret Service protection to one of the Kennedys. It's really a sad reminder of how far the party has fallen.
Extraordinary, isn't it, to think that Hunter Biden has Secret Service protection? I'm sure Chelsea Clinton has Secret Service protection, but the son or of a slain attorney general. I still maintain that there's going to be a spanner in the works, and Kennedy's going to become Trump's attorney general. That's my little wish list. Just as I'd like to see.
It's a possibility, but again, I'd rather see him run as an independent, knowing that he can't win. He could become the next H. Ross Perot in the United States of America. If you remember, H. Ross Perot ran as an independent, won 0 electoral votes, but he got 18% of the actual vote. And honestly, that's what put Bill Clinton into office. He's the only president that ever won with under 50% support. I believe it was somewhere around 42%, and George H. Walker Bush had 39%. And of course, H. Ross Perot, can I finish? He ended up with 18%. So maybe he'll be a spoiler. The more people that run as independents in the 2024 election, if we can get that number north of 10%, the better off it will be for President Trump.
Indeed. Josh Bernstein, thanks for your time today on Compass.
God bless.